Cheers, Mark, for that very kind introduction. As Mark mentioned, I work at Firetrail in the global team. I am Head of Investment Strategy. The fund was launched in November 2021, and we're very excited that it actually is available on the ASX. It was launched as an active ETF in October of last year as well. Now, if you work in Pinnacle Compliance, how excited are you right now? Because I've never seen a compliance slide so big. So I'd like to just leave this up for a moment or two so that compliance can have their moment in the sun. Feel free to read that at your own leisure, but it gets more exciting than this, trust me. And, you don't have to wait too long because pretty cool photo, huh? And when I was putting this together on my desktop, I didn't realize it would be life size. But this photo is the moment at which number 6, LeBron James, he took the shot to become the all-time leading point scorer in the NBA. And that's a pretty special moment because the record had survived for around about 40 years. Now, this photo went viral last week. Who in the audience has seen this photo? Put your hand up. It went viral last week, right? And the reason it went viral, I mean, there are a lot of photos of this moment, but the reason this particular photo went viral was because look at the crowd. So despite everyone in the crowd knowing that there are professional photographers there was no need to use their phone to take a photo. They are all viewing this moment through their phones. Even LeBron's sons who are over here. But that's not why this photo went viral. It was really what this guy wasn't doing. There he is, hands in his lap, chilled out, looking where no one else is looking, actually at the live event that was occurring before him. Now, I'll zoom in on him there. Doesn't he look relaxed? Who knows who this guy is? Yes, sir. Who is he? Anyone know? Yell it out, don't be shy, come on. Who is it? Phil Knight. And why is he famous? Founder of Nike. So this guy, Phil Knight, he's pretty used to identifying opportunities and looking at things where other people aren't looking. Obviously, Nike, one of the leading apparel and footwear companies in the world today. Now, at Firetrail, in the S3 Global Opportunities Fund, we do something similar. If you are investing in global equities, if you are in particular looking at investing in global equities with some sort of sustainable overlay or integrating ESG, well, typically you are looking at all the exact same stuff. So if you treat your staff well, if you have a low carbon footprint, and if you're well run, typically you'll receive a high score from one of the external rating agencies when it comes to ESG. Now, if you are a company that is in the business of mining resources required for the transition to decarbonisation, typically you are penalised because you have a larger carbon footprint. Now, what that results in is a portfolio of companies that have an inherent factor bias towards mega cap growth style names. Now, these companies are large for a reason. They're very good companies, but for you and your clients, when you are investing in global equities, everyone is looking and investing in the same types of companies. Now, at Firetrail, what this chart represents is the interaction between positive change and valuation. And as Jacob mentioned, we think you should be looking forward, not backwards. We think you should be looking at the emerging and future leaders in positive change and investing in them before they receive a valuation premium. These are the really significant opportunities to drive alpha in your global equity portfolios over the long run. These are the big opportunities. Now, when it comes to positive change and these opportunities, we categorize companies according to one of two buckets. Either they are a future or emerging leader in positive change. These companies are solving some of the greatest challenges that the world faces today. Or you are a current leader. The current leaders, they receive premiums in the marketplace, but we still believe that the market is underestimating the potential for these businesses to deliver a revaluation or a higher earnings uplift within the next 5 years. Now, these companies share the same S3 characteristics. They have sustainable business models. They are delivering sustainable and growing earnings, so sustainability from a financial perspective and sustainability from the traditional ESG perspective in terms of contributing to sustainable positive change. ESG investing, sustainable investing, is a structural investment phenomenon. So in terms of mutual fund assets today that are run with some sort of ESG integration, 18 trillion USD, expected to grow to 35 trillion within the next 4 years. That's just a weight of capital that is seeking and looking to invest in the sustainable leaders of tomorrow. Importantly, for those of you that know Firetrail, we aren't beholden to a particular style or factor. We simply look for the best opportunities in our investment universe, whether they be a value company, whether they be a growth company, cyclical, defensive, across sectors, across the full market cap spectrum as well. But our portfolio with this fund invests in a portfolio of 30 companies, 31 today, with a 30% lower carbon footprint than the MSCI World Index. And this is a way that we have been investing capital for our clients for over 17 years. High conviction, concentrated portfolios of our very best ideas. Now, the Pinnacle sales staff will know I like to put this slide up and ask the audience, who knows all 8 of the logos before you? I was very disappointed in Brisbane yesterday. Mark didn't know any of them, despite me presenting in a meeting beforehand with him. So he wasn't paying much attention. But no one knows all 8? 7? Put your hands up. 6? 5? Very good. You're beating the Queenslanders, which is what we want to see. 4? Excellent. 3, 2, and 1. 0. Put your hands down, Josh. I know you know a few of these. So, of course, what I'm showing you are 8 brands across value, growth. But that isn't to say that these are small companies. The median market cap in the Firetrail S3 Global Opportunities Fund is $27 billion. So you're talking a top 10 by market cap in the ASX 200. But not only do we ensure diversification by factor, for example, but we have also recalibrated the UN Sustainable Development Goals into Firetrail's forward-looking positive change themes, being health and well-being, innovation and equality, climate impact, and sustainable world. So what if I delve into one of these examples for you now? Actually, would that be something that you want to see? Delve into a case study, perhaps? No? Oh, come on, guys. A bit of enthusiasm. Let's get some coffees in here, guys. All right. So this company sits in our health and well-being positive change theme. Now, I don't have to go over the climate is warming. The climate is changing. We've seen the devastation of bushfires and floods more recently across the eastern seaboard and beyond when you think about the wildfires in California, for example. Now, if you own a home in an area that is prone to bushfires, floods, or the impacts of climate change, it's becoming more difficult to buy an insurance policy on your dwelling, on your home. If you work in a high-risk profession, like you're a roofer or a Pinnacle salesperson, typically it is difficult to get insurance for your profession in the regulated market. You have to go to what is called the excess and surplus market, which is where you will find the ability to buy an insurance policy for hard to insure risks. It's called the E&S market. But even if you think about this poor bloke. You know who he is? Ronaldo? Tough crowd today, Cormac. What's going on? You're not seeing the markets are up. Everyone relax. So Ronaldo, when he played for Real Madrid, they insured his legs for 180 million euros. And of course, when Real Madrid sought to insure one of their best assets, which is Ronaldo's legs, they would have gone into a specialist in excess and surplus insurance. Now, why did Real Madrid insure Ronaldo's legs? Well, maybe they saw this.
Adesso invece è il primo degli umani.
Tanto vediamo lo scalzo. Ah, mamma mia!
No, questa poi no.
Pazzesco. Zoppica un po', è stato investito dalla cameraman. Queste sono riprese non della regia internazionale, ma della...
Adesso invece...
So I had that clip in English, but I thought it sounded better in Italian. Mamma mia! So the company that I want to delve into today for you is one of our favourite companies in the portfolio, and it's called Ryan Specialty. It is the leading specialist in excess and surplus insurance. It's a wholesale broker, so it doesn't run any of the balance sheet risk. If you are one of those in one of those categories that I described before, like you own a house in a hard-to-insure area, or if you're Ronaldo or Real Madrid, you will go to a retail broker who will then go to a wholesale broker like Ryan Specialty to insure against that risk. And they're number one in the US. Started in 2010 by a guy named, anyone guess? Pat Ryan, exactly, yeah. And he actually founded and started Aon. He started Ryan Specialty because when he retired, he got bored. It's now a $10 billion company listed on the New York Stock Exchange. So for those of you that have seen us present before, whether it's the Firetrail High Conviction Fund, Firetrail Small Companies Fund, Absolute Return Fund, or the Firetrail S3 Global Opportunities Fund, you know we get to know these companies forensically. Over 200 hours of research before the company is even proposed by one of our analysts at our investment committee. But despite doing all the economic modelling and discount cash flow analysis and fundamental analysis, we like to focus on what truly matters for this company in the next 3 to 5 years to see that revaluation, to see that earnings uplift. So what matters for Ryan? Well, we know that the world is growing more complex. And so we know that the excess and surplus market is growing as a percentage of total insurance, so outside the regulated market, growing double digits, as you can see, for the last 4 years. And Ryan it's one of the levered ways that you can play that growing level of excess and surplus insurance. Those of you that have seen your insurance policies lately, I'm sure you've seen that the premium rate cycle is coming through. So you're paying more for your insurance premiums. And typically, those premium rate uplifts are higher than the rate of inflation. So you also get inflation protection with a company like Ryan. Importantly, as I mentioned, they act as a wholesale broker, so they don't have any of the balance sheet risk that is associated when one of these events actually occur. So it's a very early mover in a structurally growing part of the insurance market, and we believe that it can grow double digits sustainably. On our DCF, on our valuation, we think it has 30% upside, relative upside. Now finally, again, to go back to Phil Knight and that picture that I showed you before with LeBron James, I told you that we are looking at an area of the market that is different to other global equity funds. Whether you have an exposure via an index fund, like a Vanguard Global Fund, a Vanguard ESG fund, or even some of the largest active global equity ETFs on the Australian Stock Exchange, typically there is a large overlap in terms of the holdings that they own. Our fund has 95% active share of the top 100 companies by market cap in the MSCI World Index. We own one of them, which is Microsoft. We are finding far better opportunities in the mid-cap part of the global market, but we are able to invest very flexibly. Our universe is 20,000 strong. We believe there are 800 positive change opportunities that we can seek to monetize for our clients and for our investors over the medium term. So we're finding great opportunities today to generate that performance over the medium term, value growth, large, mid, small caps, as I mentioned earlier. And it really speaks to what Firetrail is all about. If you want to outperform an index, then you should look very different to that index. So this portfolio, we believe that it can do a solid role for you and your clients' investment portfolios, whether it's a standalone global equity exposure, standalone sustainable global equity exposure, but we also believe this portfolio will also blend very well with some of your existing global equity fund exposures that you have in your clients' portfolios as well. So to conclude, the Firetrail S3 Global Opportunities investment approach is unique. There is no one investing capital in this way in the Australian market. We look for the best, very best value and growth ideas across the market. We aren't going to say to you, interest rates rose, we underperform. Interest rates fell, value ripped. Sorry, we underperformed. We're looking to be style neutral throughout the cycle. And finally, the fund is typically a very different kind of exposure to global equities to what you will receive in other global equity funds. Now, finally, I'd like to invite you I can see you all, you are living in the moment. No one's putting up their phones. That's great. I can see you've learnt the lesson of Phil Knight, but there is a QR code here. Additionally, you can go to firetrail.com if you would like to get more insights. We do a weekly video, a light-hearted look at markets on a weekly basis as well, so I would invite you to subscribe to our insights. Additionally, for those of you who I've met before, you know I have 3 young kids. If you have grandkids or kids and you're finding it difficult to get them to sleep at night, you can read our carbon capture and sequestration paper, our deep dive on that, and they'll be out like a light for you before you know it. So with that, I'll hand back to Mark. Thank you very much for your time.